Right, morning everybody. Welcome back to video 102. Or I should just say 02, I don't know. So yeah, we're going to try and get this woodwork done underneath these back wheel arch parts. I'm trying to get that done and maybe get that stuff bent over today. It just depends on obviously how that goes and how awkward it is to work on. I was going to bring a jack here but I forgot, but I might, when I shoot home at lunchtime, I might rip around the dad because we haven't actually got a trolley jack here or anything like that, which is something I need to get shortly. Obviously to lift that up and put it on axle stands and stuff like that so we can pull it all apart once we've sort of finished doing what we need to do to that, because I've got to sort some stuff out with the steering. Yeah, so I want to try and get that. Now I want to try and get this cleaned up and then get it in etch, and then I'm going to jump on that. I might do some body work and like some hammer and dolling on the back and stuff like that, but I just want to get this cleaned up quickly and get it in etch, because then it's not quite so critical to like leave it, if you know what I mean. I don't want to leave it too long fresh steel or clean steel. Fortunately the weather's getting better, but I just don't want it to flash rust or anything. Like it's going to be alright for a few days because there's not a lot of moisture in there at the moment. We're getting quite good frost, so it's sucking all the moisture up during the night, and we're getting plenty of heat during the day. It's getting quite warm without being high humidity. We haven't really got much humidity here at the moment yet. That'll be in another couple of months. So yeah, if I can get this into etch, hopefully maybe by Saturday or something like that, depending on how time goes, obviously. That'd be really cool if I can get it into etch on Saturday or whenever. What's today? Wednesday. So yeah, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I should be able to get it in etch by Saturday. As I said, like I'm not going to go super crazy on the inside. Like there's parts of it I will, but parts of it I'm not going to have to go real stupid. As long as I can get it really cleaned up, wipe a bit of that, again, that rust neutraliser on it, and yeah, just get it cleaned up. I'm not going to strip it hard back like this. Lots of parts of it will be, but it won't need to be every piece, if you know what I mean. It's not quite so critical, but yeah, we'll treat it and get it really cleaned up, stuffed up, and then yeah, we can. I can do any other. Get this back wheel arch piece sorted, and then once I've got it etched, then I can do some hammer and dolling and whatever, or if I get a chance I'll do that back part. We'll get the worst of it before I etch it, because then I can basically, if I can get that done before I etch it, I can go almost straight to body filler, if you know what I mean, around the back. But there's a few little bits and pieces I need to address. I can see there's a crack in the door opening here that obviously you need to address with this steel. There's a crack in there, so I want to fix that. Just tack it up and quickly grind it back and just make it look better. Obviously I've got to get all this crap off, get the doors off, get them stripped round, get that stripped round, clean up the back of that seat area where they've made that panel up. To be honest, I don't actually know if it actually needs that. I'm a bit confused with that because the car that was in Queenstown doesn't actually have a steel painted back. It's more got upholstery on it. But yeah, I don't know. I'll leave it out how it is. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I might ask Dave, but it's there now. It can stay. They can always upholster over it. Or it can just be a little bit more unique. I didn't do it, so I'm not worried about it. It looks good. It'll look nice, fine. It'll look fine if I body work it and paint it. Or if it doesn't come up that nice, we'll just cover it in upholstery. I'm pretty sure the back of it's covered in upholstery, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't stressed about it. It'll look fine painted. We'll work on that. But anyway. Yeah, so I'll get this a bit more cleaned up and get these under pieces done today. That's the plan. So over the next couple of videos we'll try and get this done. I'll try and get a couple of videos into this day, but yeah, I won't waffle too long. I'll get into it shortly. Righty guys, so I'm just going to have a quick measure up. Basically I want to make a short piece for here, and then another little step for here. I need to double check on the frame how far I need to come back with this tapered piece, because it'll just follow basically up here. I'll get it roughly cut in, and then I'll probably might even dress it up with an angle grinder or something like that, just to get the rough shape in. It doesn't need to be dead perfect, because it's not going to be seen and then because it's going to be sitting on top of the chassis, but it's just to follow that and give me a shape to bend this to, and obviously cut off what I don't need, and obviously do it both sides and trim off any of these other little bits and pieces and stuff like that. Why they've actually got these pieces here, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, yeah, and I'll just glue and screw them on with this same glue, and yeah, and then we can dress it all up and make it fit, because obviously that's where the bolt holes to the back hole on the chassis. You can't quite see that, and the front hole is down about here, so it's about in the middle of that board there that you can barely see the edge of. That one, so it's about in the middle of that one, along here. So yeah, I need to just work out this rough shape. It's basically up here and then up here. It's not very long, because I can see witness marks in here where the chassis hits it. So we'll go over it, have a quickly look there for a minute. Yeah, so this is these witness marks I'm talking about. So you can see where that's been rubbing on the wood. So I know that basically tapers down from there, and so that's that front hole where that brace as it goes across. So it tapers up from there. That first part of it's already there. So I just need to fill that back part of it in up to here, and I know that's roughly, you can sort of see, that's sort of where it's just starting to flatten off, and then go flat to here. So I know that's a good reference point for that shape. Doesn't need to be exactly that shape, but close, because that's sitting hard down on it, and that's sitting hard down on it. So as long as I've got that piece in there, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? I might just lower this down a little bit. Just give me an extra half an inch of clearance. A little bit anyway. That's better. Here's some of the witness marks are here. So it tapers back from here. So basically all I can do is know how long that is. It's about 70 millimeters or thereabouts, slightly longer than that. And that bit there is, if I made it 80, so I'm making a little wedge that's about 80, and then another one that's about 70 and a little bit maybe. Make a couple of wedges that will fit in there. It should be about spot on, and I might just have to make a little packer, possibly. But if I make it just the full width of this, or even just this piece, we'll see, to see how it works out. But yeah, just make that full width roughly, and lower it up, and then glue it in, and just roughly shape it in. And I might just make a little trim piece to put in the side of this, just to fill that space in where this material's going to come up to. Unfortunately, that other next piece of wood actually hits it, but I might better just knock that off with might just better bang a chisel down in there and actually just knock a slither off the edge of that, so these bits here are more level. And I'll obviously do the same on the other side if it needs it. So I'll just quickly measure up the other side and just see what I need for that side, and obviously do the same. And you know, I don't think I actually need these, so I might just slide a little packer in here just to tidy it up and dress it up, make things look reasonably uniform, if you know what I mean. So it's just little finishing off jobs underneath, so we can obviously bend the slip over and tack it up and make it look nice. Finishing. So I'll come back to you shortly. Right, hopefully you can see that alright. One other thing I need to do too is actually make a, I didn't have this piece floor in here before, but I actually need to make a piece, whether I actually use this piece or make another piece that actually goes from this beam back to underneath here. You know, probably build it like a, come back to about here and then build a filler that goes underneath here, because when the other guys had built some of this backwood structure, they had like a tapered piece of metal in here, which is wrong compared with the cars that I've looked at. I don't know why they had a tapered piece of metal in there. It didn't really make any sense to me. So yeah, it needs to be, it needs to come back to here, and then another piece underneath there. I need to check whether it's actually going to foul the chassis. I might have to step it in, like make it one piece, but step it in here and then, or back to here and then put it in here and make this piece permanent. This piece here, in theory, could lift out if you really needed it to get out, the front piece of it, like in front of this beam. I put this beam in here because it just helps tie the body together, and it was like that originally on their cars I looked at, and it just obviously gives, it's a nice strong point for you to stand on than this floor stuff, which is okay, but yeah, I think because that's a natural spot to put your foot when you hop out of the car or hopping in the car, so it's a nice strong place to stand, whereas the other pieces are a bit more flexible with just being wood and not much other structure, but they did have, I think they had like little braces underneath as well, which I will do at some point when we obviously come to final assembly. But there will be like sort of, I think there's carpet on top of here and all that sort of stuff, so you're not going to see that their timbers are a little bit different anyway. But I think what I'll do is I'll make a piece that goes from here out to the back of here, and then possibly just cuts in a little bit here, so it's just tucked underneath this piece at the edge, just so it clears the chassis. But I need to check that. I'm measuring between the chassis, because as the chassis comes up, this will hit it. I think that's probably why they did it, but it's not right, if you know what I mean. I can show you the piece that they made, because it fitted up on top of here and tapered down out to here quite a way, and it just looked weird. And when I looked at the one car that I've seen that's here, but as a hard top, it was nothing like that in the back part of the floor. That's why I remade all this, because I remade this closer to what it is, just by looking at photos and stuff again, if you know what I mean. So I need to do that too while I'm under here. Get that finished. Okay, so yeah, I just need to measure the spacing across here, just to double check, make sure I'm not going to foul with that floor piece. Alright, so the first step is I'm going to rip down a couple of pieces of timber, so I can get a nice clean edge. I'm going to whip these down to about 140 wide, 140, 145, which will give me just enough to sneak underneath that board and give me a little bit to fill the back piece in behind that brace for the seat. These are about 160, but they're too wide for that little table plane. So I'm just going to cut the edges off, set it up so when I cut, like a small amount off each side, so it's the right width, and then I can get a nice clean edge, and then I'll quickly run these through the table plane each side. So they need to be about an inch thick. So if I'm careful and just skim them, they'll be about an inch thick. You know, I can give them a stand up with a DA, whatever, just to make it really nice on top. Not that it's critical, but yeah. So I'll probably need to do a couple of pieces here, and then obviously chop up some other pieces for the other bits to taper up. So I'll get that done first. Another quick wee thing I did the other day was actually hung the extension cord up here, just so to get power across to here without having to trip over it all the time and walk over it, or if I have to wheel something in here, I don't have to trip over it. And then I just dropped it down over here. Just put that a couple of screws into a stick of timber just to hold it up out of the road. Like that's a good 7 or 8 foot up. Like I shouldn't bang my head on it anyway. And then I can use it around here. It doesn't matter so much if it's lying on the floor. But at least, you know, if I'm walking in and out of here, I can just kick this cable here, which I plug into these machines we'll use on here. I can just kick it over here out of the road. Obviously at some other point we might get some more, might have to put some more plugs in or drop something, you know, drop a couple, maybe a couple of power plate points down on these poles in the middle or something, or maybe some down from the roof, but that'll do in the meantime. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is, I forgot that centre brace piece in that floor I made. I put a little step in it to accommodate for these here, which is nowhere near as thick. So what I'm going to do, because I left a little notch in it for these boards to sit on so they weren't just floating in mid-air, if you know what I mean, just on that edge. So I'm going to do the same on here. I'm actually just going to set up the table saw so I can just nick this piece out, hopefully, and just run it just underneath it. So hopefully I can do that and just get rid of that little square of wood, and then that should fit in there really nicely, and it'll be all supported on that edge. And this is quite a bit thicker, so it should be more stable anyway. I might actually change those other pieces to the same wood, but I'll see what happens. That might be fine. It's going to be covered, so you're not going to see it. Alrighty, I couldn't quite get the big table saw down low enough to do what I wanted to do, so I just marked it out and did it with a little cordless skill saw. Just marked it and run it down there the best I could. It was a bit awkward because it's sort of right on that edge, but it is what it is. It's not seen, and I can dress it up a little bit if I need to. But yeah, I'll slip it in there, see if it fits, and then I can go from there. Right, I'm going to try and get a little bit clever here, because I need a little bit more floor for inside the car, but I also need the piece that goes out to the edge of the body. So I've marked where the floor goes to, which is about the back of where I need to be. And then if I actually come out the full width of the back of the car, that'll bring that back in. I'll probably have to cut part of this off if we just continue that taper out. I have to cut part of that off because the body will come up, or that piece will come up, and then I can actually stack the next piece in behind that as well, the short piece. But this will cover all that, so I'll need to work this out a little bit better. But yeah, I should be actually tuck this in here and chop part of this off, because that's where the woodwork comes up just beside it. On both sides, I should be actually get the floor and the first little wedge piece that I was going to make all in one hit. I'll probably just have to plane this off or something like that, you know, taper that edge off or on the belt sander or something. I'll work it out, but yeah. And if I come back from, I think it's from this edge here, roughly about 100 is where I need to probably trim the last piece of it off, if you know what I mean, where the next bit where it will actually taper up. I can probably just leave it and then work it out from there, but yeah, I'll get this cut out anyway and work out exactly what I need. So I need a max width of 1135 at about the back edge. So I'll work it out and draw it out and cut it down, and I'll run it through the table plane to clean it up, and then we'll see how it fits. Right, just see if we can slip this other piece, and I haven't cut it to actually fit in the slots, but it's about the right width. I'll just see how far up I can push it and just mark where these side pieces come up to and lots of stuff, just so I have an idea. See how it's fitting. It should be the right width to sit up in here, if you know what I mean, but I won't be able to push it all the way in. Body a little bit back. About as far as it's going to go, is it? Yeah. So I've got to notch it back in here to fit around the piece of wood that's up underneath here and up underneath, and obviously up in here too. It's not quite as long on the side, but that looks like that'll be good. And then I'll on another piece of timber, obviously across here, to fill that in. And actually way stronger than this other stuff that was in here. So that's cool. Let's put a couple more. Let's put a mark in there. I know it's not going far enough forward, but it gives me an idea just to make sure I've got the placing right. So that's cool. We're halfway there. Yeah, it looks like it's about centred. Might be a little bit one way or the other, but at least I can jiggle it from here. That's cool. So yeah, it's going to knock out a piece for here, knock out a piece if you hear them behind that. We should have slipped it all the way in. And then obviously make the next piece to go off on here, which will cover the next piece, but also go underneath here, if you know what I mean. Will actually cover the next piece where it's tapered up. So that these three pieces that I made will actually do the job that I want it to do. I was just going to fill pieces inside, but it's all tied into one thing, so that should be way stronger, especially when I glue them all in. That's cool. That's bloody awesome. I'll get this one fitting properly, and then I'll make the next one. And then I can work out where I need to tape it. The edges fit in on the chassis. Hopefully the first time when we put it back on. Because I don't have to try and redo something. But I couldn't really do it when it was on there. Just a bit of paint. But it's all good. Righty, so this is where I'm up to. I've got to, this board here, I've actually got to relieve it on the top underneath here where the little packers are that sit on top of the chassis, just so it can come hard up and let everything else come up, and obviously close this gap up as well, because it's holding everything down. And you can see over in that corner a little bit where it's sitting down. That's what I've got to sort of take out one of each. I've marked it on the back of the board. But apart from that, that's looking quite good. I'm quite happy with that. And that looks way nicer. Better than the stupid thing I had on here. That's basically how the floor was in that car that I went and seen. That was a hard top version of the same thing. It's what they call a duplex, which is open sides, but it's got like a wooden frame but a canvas top on it instead of a folding top, convertible top, what do you want to call it. So yeah, that's how the floor in it looked. Obviously I couldn't see what it exactly looked like because it had carpet and all that sort of stuff all over it, but this is what I could pick up and see. And I knew it was like it didn't have this sloping piece of steel in here or anything stupid like that. It was just a hard floor back to the edge and then obviously the seat up on top. So it's cool. I'm happy with that now. I've got to do a little bit of trimming and then I can, so I'm about to go for lunch. And then obviously I've got to trim away what I don't need on these back edges to taper it up. So it'll be tapered up back to here and then tapered back to meet that. So I'll need to obviously mark on there and then just start working away and cut that all away. So yeah, that's probably going to take me the best, well, it's a reasonable chunk of the day by the time I trim those pieces and mark where they all touch and work it out and work out how much I need to chop off. Obviously I will do them together, obviously mark where that sits and clamp it together and then obviously knock it all off and obviously mark how far out I need to go, and then we can start shaping this edge. Hopefully I can get it all done today, I'm not sure, but even if I can get all the wood done and start bending and obviously trim off what I don't need, I'll turn over as big as edge as I possibly can, but some of it might be a bit thin and some of it won't be, but yeah, this will work. I think this is going to make this all nice and strong. It's going to make it even beefier back through here. And once I've sort of got this all fitting and I've got that tack, I can know where I can bend it over. I can actually, I'll put some of that construction adhesive in amongst all these and then push them all in and squeeze them together. So that'll be cool. I might even better do that while these are apart and then push them in there and then glue the edges, if you know what I mean. So we know where it's sitting. But yeah, cool, awesome. All right, catch you after lunch. Alright, let's have a wee looky here. See this piece fits now that I've ground away sort of what I think I need to. Or what I hope that I need to. See how she all slots in. Trick. I might have to take a little more out of here yet. What looks like that? Maybe. Closer to the edge. What's going on here? She needs to take a bit more out of here. Just cut this back in a little bit further. I don't want to go too far though, but a little bit. It looks like I need more take. This one here looks okay, but like this way a little bit, but looks okay the other way. This other one looks like I might have to take a bit more. Maybe the front edge. I'll grab some clamps, I'll just clamp it up and see what it'll pull up. I think the tapering is probably okay. It's probably alright. There's obviously the body fit back on. The chassis. But apart from that, it's not sitting on that anyway, is it? Yeah, I need to cut both these back a little bit and probably just take a wee bit more off the front of this relief at the top. Yeah, just take a bit more off this edge on this one. We should get it, I think. And the rest of it looks like it should be pretty good for that taper. Both sides. Looks like that should work quite nicely. I don't think we'll have to panic and wipe that out. What I might do is get that profile gauge and just push it against this and just see if it'll fit over that body, under the chassis. Grab the profile gauge, where's that? Got here somewhere. That's what I done. Actually, yeah, I might need to actually scallop that the other way to bring it up and scallop it back in. Yeah, I need to bring this up and then actually scallop this the other way. That's cool. Yeah, that would be, hopefully you can see this, I don't know if you can see this or not, but yeah, that would be, should be up against here, if you know what I mean. So, they're witness marks, so yeah, as long as we can get that to fit up in there, so I need to scallop the crap out of that. So that's cool, that's good to know. Right, get back to it. I might do is I might just get this fitting up in here first, and I'll take a little bit off there, but I'll get this fitting, put clamps up in, and then we can, obviously, I'll take a bit more out of it, but then we can come back and check the other bit. Righty, so we want a better way to test the piece that you're trying to shape to fit over the chassis, sit on the chassis. So I've marked on here where the witness marks are on the body to where they are on here. Obviously measuring from the bolt holes that are in the body backwards and forwards to here. So this is where this is going to sit. Obviously it'll sit reasonably level, within reason, but you know, it gives me a good guesstimation. So I've got to take a little bit more out of this side just to make it sit down a little bit nicer. It's pretty close. The other side's not far away either. I think it needs a little bit more just to get it to sit down a little bit better. Try and bring you around here and show you if I can. Yeah, awesome along that tripod. Really. Yeah, so if I sort of hold that flat again, you can see that it sort of, it needs, it's not bad either, it needs probably just a little bit more. Not a lot. So I think I've got that pretty close now. I'll get it fitting a little bit better underneath. I'd rather take a little bit much off than not enough, because once we've got the everything all back together and painted and all that sort of stuff, I don't want to be trying to peel that edge back that's rolled underneath here to try and clear this body, if you know what I mean. So I'd rather take a little bit much off in here than not enough, if you know what I mean. It's better off to sit a little bit low in here, you know, and have clearance than anything else. It's not now, it's still picking up my body holes. Now it's still sitting on those mounts anyway, so it's not a big drama, if you know what I mean. It's as long as it clears and it's not going to make the body sit up and do anything stupid and push the floor up and all sorts of strange stuff like that. So that's more my concern than anything else. As long as it fits back in the body and it sits nicely on that, well, we should be laughing. So I'll do a little bit more in there and then we'll do another test fit. Righty guys, so I'll try and show you in here if I don't get the tripod all hooked up. That was looking awesome. I'm just going to clamp it up obviously properly and all that sort of stuff, and glue all that crap in there, which will be absolutely wicked. Can't wait to do that. And it's looking shit hot from underneath too. I think we've got it sorted. So yeah, I think we've got plenty taken away in there and plenty taken away and over here. We'll get that construction adhesive and just clamp it all up, glue, screw it a bit in there in between the layers, glue her in there. Yeah, I'm going to be done with it, I think. And a few clamps, maybe a couple of screws in just to help hold everything in place. So yeah, that's perfect. I think that'll be absolutely spot on. If we do have any minor issues, I'll just have to deal with it when I get there. But if we have to pick the body up, and just maybe grind a little bit out there, but I've got way less material here than what's already on this piece. So that's like overlapping that, so I should have plenty off here, because that there is quite bold and then that's like sunken way in. So I think we'll have plenty of clearance. We're pretty sure we've got plenty of clearance. So I think we're pretty right. So yeah, I'll get that bit of construction adhesive stuff in there, screw it in there where I need it, jam these pieces in there and a few clamps and be done with that, I think. And then I can move on to other stuff. The only other thing I need to do is there's a little bit extra wood down that side. I want to try and maybe see if I can get in there with a chisel or something, just chisel a little bit of it out. You can just see where it's sticking. Hopefully you can see in there. That piece there, I just want to knock part of that off if I can. Hopefully. Yeah, we'll work it out anyway. We'll get the worst of it off. Even if I have to get an angle grinder with a cutting disc up in there or something like that, and just knock the worst of it off. Just so it's not in the road and I can pull the steel back to that and then bend it over. But yeah, it's awesome. That works out in really, really nice. because it's all tied into this, it should be all really good and as good and strong as a wood framed body car can be. Awesome, right? Righty, so I've made a wee cardboard template. Obviously the shape on the inside and then whatever the shape of the metal was on the outside, and I've drawn a rough line in here where I think I need to cut it off. I will get a better accurate measurement, but this is roughly where the wood runs on the inside, and I need a reasonable lip to turn over on the outside, so to turn over in there. I want to dress, hopefully I might be able to sneak the, if I pull the body away a little bit, I might be able to sneak the grinder in there and just even though some of those pieces up a little bit. So probably if I can get this in there, get a couple of little sticks of wood in there so I can pull it out a little bit. Should be able to clean it up, and then I think I'm pretty good on this side, maybe just a little bit of evening up, you know what I mean? See if I can touch it up, and then do the same on this side, drawing the same sort of thing on here. And then obviously we can pull it in, bend it in, whatever, and get that all fitting nice. That'll be, I think, tomorrow morning's job, at least. I'm sort of running out of time now. I could do it now, but I just want to let that glue harden up and cure up. If I'd got this sort of completed this morning, I probably would have had to go at this, but like it's only been gluing up here for probably half an hour and a bit more. So I'll just leave it clamped up overnight and attack this tomorrow. Try and get that done in the morning, and then hopefully I might be able to get in and start cleaning up some of this other stuff on the inside. So this stuff shouldn't go anywhere. This piece isn't glued, but it shouldn't need to be because all the rest of it's glued in here solid. The other two pieces are glued up solid and clamped up. I'll put a couple of screws in, and this piece will just be it's floating basically, because this piece here can come out if needed. Half tempted to remake these two pieces, but it's built into here too. It just would have been nicer to have all matching timber, but I didn't have it, and you're not going to see it, but it runs right through to here, and then they've cut it off, so it's no biggie. It's just, may as well leave it alone. It's going to be covered in carpet, and you're not going to be crawling around underneath it much, and that big piece there divides it anyway. I didn't cut that very straight, but I don't think, for some reason, when I cut the little stand piece through, so it's got something to sit on, I mightn't have cut that very square either, but again, once it's covered in carpet and all that crap, you're never going to see it. And you're probably going to put a little bit of maybe insulation, well, not so much insulation, but maybe just a little bit of sort of felting sort of type stuff to put the carpet in there, just makes the carpet last longer. Maybe, who knows? It's going to be probably a weatherproof carpet anyway. But yeah, it's cool that far. So tomorrow I'll attack it. So it'll be interesting to see how long this video is tonight when I get home, because I've got a few talking bits in here that are a few minutes long. So it may be a one-hit wonder today, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll get that. So that dressed up a little bit in the morning, and then start folding all the edge over. And yeah, but I think it should work out pretty good. Might have to nick and cut and re-weld some of these little back pieces, but that should be pretty sweet. By the time I finish that up and get that off, and I'll get a nice little bending. I've got a bending stick somewhere. I'll just make sure the slot is nice even, so I get a nice even bend over underneath there. But I'll work it out so it's nice and clean. And we should be good. Alrighty, we'll catch you later on.